So many things have been placed on so many shelves. It's like time-lapse photography of a plant growing or a dead fox decaying. It's just the majesty of nature or some shit like that. I just 5 seconds of the video and already I've completely lost my shit. Alright, somehow I got that shit out of a pile on the floor and got it basically sorted up here. So yeah, I've just decided to immediately record the next episode because I want to get these totes, because I've got more totes. This isn't the end of the totes. My whole life is totes. Just call me Totes McGroat. So this is some politically correct boxes. Also, it's cracked. Let's see, what is inside of this? Oh no, my dildo collection. It's the best running joke ever. Here. This is the graphics card that's currently installed in my computer. So feel free to call me shit in the comments. Because whenever you talk about like computer parts, especially graphics cards on the internet, like you get fucking cussed out. Like people get so fucking mad. And by people I mean 4chan, which isn't actual people. I need to keep reminding myself. This is a motherboard. It's also in that computer. Is that good or bad? I don't know. It makes the computer run. I can put RAM and shit in it. This is the graphics card that was in the computer before the 970 was in it. Is this exciting? This is the most exciting one of these I've done. This tote we should get through much quicker because it's just some boxes and shit. It's not 400 games or 900 magic cards for me to autistically go on about. You're like, oh, click unlike. This is the 3DS I got that came with Zelda, and it's a Zelda 3DS. I actually kind of want an XL because it's bigger, and I don't have to squint as much when I play it. So maybe someday I'll get one, but for now, this is what I got. Lovin' is what I've got. I said remember that. This is the Elgato. You can see it hiding on top of the PlayStation 4. Very dusty, of course, because, you know, why would I record video game footage? It's not like I have a channel where I play video games. My phone just bleeped and blooped, but we have no time for it. This was... I don't think I've gotten through a single one of these videos without talking about something Hosier gave me or donated to the channel. Hosier, in case you're wondering, he's like the original 10-Phase super fan. Like even back in the homegrown roots, the OMG days of 10-Phase, son, Hosier has always been there. And so anything he could do to improve the channel. Well, I used to record with an HD PVR composite / component input thing. That's what I used back in the day of like 1050 Demon Souls and all that. Well, it just stopped working one day. Like it just shit the bed. And so I couldn't record any modern game footage. And Hosier went out like that day, because that's when he still lived around here. He was like, Ben, why do you make videos anymore, huh? What? What's your fucking problem? That's my very flattering impression of Hosier. And I was like, well, gee whiz, Hosier, I ain't got no way to record the game footage. And he's like, yo, fuck that shit. You're right with me, dog. And he rode up to a Best Buy and drove through the entranceway. And his car hit a pylon. And he flew through the windshield and landed in a pile of shelves. And when he came out, he had one of these in his teeth like a Rottweiler. And went, and flung it up on the counter. And then threw his wallet at the cashier. And then handed it to me and said, here you go. So it's currently what I use to record basically any of those things, aka the shitty consoles, not the good stuff like these over here. In case you're wondering how I use the Wii with it, you can see the adapter right there that turns the Wii into HDMI. So good for us. I said this was going to be a shorter video, and I've already gone on a giant rant. I bought this fucking thing, and apparently it came from China, and it does not work. There's no software for it. Like, the software it came with doesn't work. So when you go on Amazon and you search for composite video capture, do some damn research or you end up with one of these. Like, there's a thing called the Easy Cap that isn't this, that actually works. So I guess this is the Chinese knockoff of it. But I've never been able to make this thing fucking work. So I don't know why I still have it. To remind myself that I'm a fucking idiot, probably. Let's turn this shit around. Let's turn the beat around like Gloria Estefan. First and foremost, I was called out on my fucking cred of owning kimono video games in a previous Shelf Quest where I was looking at my 3DS games because they were like, you ain't got Solo to Robo. I was like, motherfucker, get on my goddamn level. I was like, I didn't even know what this game was, but it called out to me because it's a game with adorable like dog and cat people in it. We can't get through one of these fucking Shelf Quests without some fucking furry nonsense. This game is, I mean, I like everything about it except the gameplay is kind of boring, but the world and the characters and the art, it's is delightful. It's just a game you're red and you run around in your robot and you pick things up and throw it. So it could be a might be gooder. If I ever get a modified 3DS or whatever that has output, I'd probably do a playthrough of it. I mean, ain't it bad like that. It's like an unofficial sequel to Tail Concerto, which is a game I've never played, but you play as like a little police officer dog and a robot, and you catch cat burglars. It's a little It has a soundtrack CD inside of there. Can you believe it? I can. All right. These are the boxes to them, the GBA re-releases of some good Final Fantasy games. So, the only one I don't have the box for, I have Final Fantasy IV Advance, but I bought it secondhand and didn't get the box. So someday I'll have to get the box for it. This, I mean, if you have never played 1 and 2, this is not a bad way to play them. It adds a lot of bonus content, dungeons that have bosses from later Final Fantasies. But it is super easy. Like, the version of Final Fantasy 1 included in this is the easiest fucking game on earth. Like, your caster, the main thing is your casters have MP instead of spell charges. So instead of like having 1 casting of Fire 2 and like 3 castings of Fire 1 or Cure, you just have MP and you can get ethers and shit. And like, you get more gold and experience per fight, and everything in the shops is cheaper. And there's super powerful equipment. You can get a staff that casts fucking flare. Like, it's ridiculous. But it has that new content. You'd have to like find a way to intentionally limit the game for yourself. See, look, there's Gilgamesh from Final Fantasy V in this game. You can fight the Doom Train from Final Fantasy VI, although you can't suplex it, so what's the fucking point? And this version of 2 is... It's not much different from the PlayStation Origins version, except it has the Soul of Rebirth bonus game, which is cool because, spoilers, the 4 characters that die throughout the course of the game, which are right there on the screen, LOL. Once you beat the main game, they have like a side game where they're in the afterlife. And it's actually kind of rough because they all... when you start it, they're all at whatever like stat level they were at when they died in the game and have whatever gear you left on them. And since most people would just strip them all asshole naked when they knew they were going to die, then you end up super gimped in the afterlife. So it's kind of a moral lesson about not taking advantage of people when they kill themselves for you, I guess. I don't know. So overall, not a bad game. This version of 5 is good. It's got a newer translation. It's definitely better than the PlayStation version just because of the load times. And it's got some bonus content and new job classes like Necromancer and Cannoneer or something like that. I've never actually played all the way through this one. The only drawback being that the music isn't as good because it's Game Boy Advance. Although, from what I heard, you can get a patched ROM if you're into emulation that lets you play through this version of the game, but with the original Final Fantasy V music. And Final Fantasy V is just a great game. It's a good game. And then, of course, Final Fantasy VI Advance. Final Fantasy VI being my favorite Final Fantasy, and objectively the best one. I mean, look at the logo icon. It's Terra in that Magitech armor, not giving a shit about nothing. This version, it ain't bad. Excuse me. Oh, I love that they went out of their way to be like, this is that game you remember as Final Fantasy III, stupid. Once again, it adds a bunch of new content, adds new espers like Gilgamesh and Leviathan and Cactrot, Jumbo Cactrot. And it adds a new dungeon, the Dragon Cave or whatever, that adds a bunch of dragons, including the Kaiser Dragon, who was a boss that was cut from the original game. And it has a new translation that is less Ted Woosley. Like, I don't remember if Son of a Submariner is still in there. Once again, the main drawback, other than the controls being kind of clunky, is that the music is just not as good. But like I said with the 5, I think there's a patched ROM that fixes that. So, you know, Final Fantasy 6 on the go. Henshin a go-go, baby. It does fix some of the bugs, like Vanish Doom, but I'm pretty sure you could still pull off Setzer's slot thing. So, in case you gave a shit about that. Man, I remember getting excited for this because Pokemon Silver is the last Pokemon game I played all the way through. And so when I saw this was coming out, I was like, oh, cool, and got it, and I never finished it because I just get bored with my Pokemon. I don't know, maybe because I'm a mature adult. Like, I'm too busy straightening out my ties and fucking my 6 hot Canadian girlfriends to enjoy something as childish as Pokemon. Now, let's get back to me ranting about Magic the Gathering cards and spilling fucking NES games all over my floor because I'm a mature adult. Is the Pokewalker inside of here? I can't remember. Yeah, there it is right there. It probably still has a Pokemon trapped in it. There's probably like a Lucario in there, and he's growing powerful with his aura, and he's going to fight me with his dick. Sorry, I was describing a fan fiction I've been working on. I want to do something with this game. If I was going to do a Nuzlocke, it would probably be this game. Can this game be emulated very well? Because I don't, like I said, I don't have a modified console. I need a modified 3DS, so that way I could have a new console to not play video games for my channel on. I've gone on and on and on in 10F videos in this series about Final Fantasy 11, but here's just more instances of me buying it. I have such a toxic relationship with Final Fantasy 11. Like, there's so much I love about it, and so much I hate about it. God damn it. God damn it. If only they didn't have Mithra Red Mages, then I could just completely ignore it. Do we want to talk about this shit, that shit, that shit, that... Well, these are staring at me. This is a game where you play as a squat Scottish man in a submarine wielding a blunderbuss, and there's like a sea witch looking in through the door. One of the greatest quotes I've ever heard in my life. If we can get inside of this fucking thing. Where is that picture? If Luther's watching this, he knows. Okay. So, my friend Luther, who you all know from the much beloved and unfinished 10finity Code Veronica X, was super into this game. And one night, he was grinding to get gear on, I don't even know what class he was, Paladin or something. And he couldn't get whatever drop it was he wanted. And we were on Skype or whatever, we team speak or something. And he was just going on some rant about how Blizzard intentionally makes the game where you get shitty drops, so you have to keep playing it and keep paying them monthly. And he had this box next to him, and he grabbed it and opened it. And he was like, T-Boo's Blazing Longsword, that's what Blizzard wants you to be. And I just now realized that joke is an inside joke, and it's not going to be funny to you, unless you're Luther. Luther, if you're watching, leave a comment. This was like a world drop epic. It's not that good, but it looks kind of like an orange lightsaber, so people wanted it. Fun fact, World of Warcraft, the original World of Warcraft, when I used to play it with my friends, my original character was a Tauren Shaman on the Skull Crusher server, which was a PvP server, and I played that a little bit, but then the majority of my friends were playing Alliance on the Silvermoon server, so I went to make a character on there, and I made a human mage and was trying to make up a name for him, and I tried to think of a name I'd never heard before, and after about 45 minutes of workshopping that, I came up with the name 10F, and so there you go. It's a breakthrough for 10F historians, the dramatic origin of some name, which turns out is a Chinese surname, I think, and also the name of some Russian website where you can buy like 2x4s and shit. A lot of people say this is the end of Warcraft being good. The Burning Crusade, they say, is like the only good expansion. I just remember you spent months getting gear in that, and then you go to the first part of Burning Crusade, and the shitty fucking greens you get from like turning in quests to like kill space moose like, was better. And that was when you knew you were completely fucked. Yeah, we've talked enough about World of Warcraft. There's some more in here. I bought this later when it was on sale for like $10 just to get the DVDs to make the game easier to reinstall, because those are on like 25 CDs. Also, there's 2 shitty mini players guides in here that, I mean, are nowhere near relevant anymore. I was about to say there's more Warcraft in here. Lich King, you go to Northrend, it's snowy, you can fly. It's like, requires this expansion, you fucking asshole. So you better get to sucking dicks on a corner so you can afford that shit. And this is the Cataclysm. This is the last time I really played the game. It changed the entire world. Also, you could play as Worgen, but by this time all my friends were Horde, so I couldn't play as my wolf waifu anymore. Also, they don't have tails. It's weird. Okay. This is the box for Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is inside here. You may have noticed in the last episode when I was going through my N64 games that Conker's Bad Fur Day was, you know, conspicuously absent. And that's because it's actually inside this box. And the manual and everything's in here. This came from the rental store I used to work at, which is why it's got these, hey, don't rent this shit to kids stickers on it. So I might be able to remove those at some point without damaging the box, I guess. I can't ruin the collector's value of my Conker's Bad Fur Day. I feel like he's not going to be able to drink any of that without spilling it. I know I've told this on Tiff before. So, I had never played Perfect Dark as a kid. Look, you can see some asshole with his phone. Why am I holding my pinky up? Like, that wasn't part of the joke. That's how I'm holding the phone. I guess so it's not here. So, I'm being very professional. I never got a chance to play Perfect Dark back in the N64's heyday. Like, me and my friends were all about GoldenEye, but none of us had this game. Or I got an expansion pack eventually for Majora's Mask. But, so, years later, in like 2006 or so, I was like, well, I'll get a copy of Perfect Dark and I can finally play it because it's probably cheap now. And I went on Amazon and saw a copy for like $7, so I just bought it. I didn't even pay attention to like the condition of it. And then like a few days later in the mail, this showed up, a fucking factory sealed copy of Perfect Dark. And I was like, well, I can't open that. It's factory sealed. So I've still never played Perfect Dark. So maybe one day I'll cut this open and then it'll be it. The collector's value, new, never removed from books. All right, what's left for us to look at in here? A lot of things. This game is spooky. Ooh, ooh, little black-haired Japanese girl, so original. Actually, it's a very fun shooter, and the spooky parts of it just kind of flavor it, but the slow-mo is so satisfying, and you can shoot people to death with guns. This is that there Call of Duty that the kids are all into. I got this on PC. I had it on the Xbox, but then Tommy, of all people, was like, yo, get that PC version so you can play online. And then I went online, and it was a fucking mess. It was like nothing but hackers and shit. Thanks, Tommy. The Orange Box. This is some software. It's like you got your business accounting software and some kind of AOL Messenger shit. And then this is about building supplies. This used to be how you got these games. Portal and such. You know, I've never played the Half-Life 2 episodes. Man, I'll just wait till Half-Life 3 comes out. That can't be too long from now, right? And then this is the copy of Half-Life 2 I bought back when I wanted to play Half-Life 2. Because I had, when I first built a computer that could run it, and it was a very good experience. It's a good game. And also, I enjoyed Counter-Strike Source. So, there you go. Don't really have a lot to say. Half-Life Deathmatch is, like, actually goofy fun because you can, like, shoot toilets at people. And I love the assault rifle where the alternate fire shoots the death ball. But you could never really get in a game of it. At least I couldn't. So, I didn't get to play it very much. It's terribly sad. We need to start another segment. All right. This is a game where Diablo has infected the servers and you can't connect because it's always online because that's necessary. I'm the modern game industry and I'm terrible. Oh, oh. I hurt my throat. I was doing like some kind of weird Sam Kinison yell, but lower. I wanted to like this game, but the Blizzard wouldn't let me. Jesus. I hear it's better now, but you have to have the expansion and shit, and Blizzard games take forever to go down in price, so maybe I'll play it again. Also, I only play it on hardcore because the regular mode is pointless. Like, it's a gear treadmill. In hardcore mode, at least you have stakes. Every character I made in hardcore mode eventually died. Usually in some kind of fucking unicorn land. I bought this when it came out because everyone was super hyped and Korean. And was like, you gotta get this game. You gotta get the StarCraft, Ash. I've never played the single player. I hear it's good, but I've never once played it. And I played about 3 multiplayer matches of it with my friends, and that's it. So, that was $60 fucking I invested well. Beg pardon once again. Tell you what, we'll go through these in order. Morrowind. So my first experience with Morrowind was I got the original Xbox. Don't call it the Xbox One. That would be stupid because that's what is currently out. Hotcha, modern video games. The original Xbox, I got it for Christmas like a couple of years after it was out. And I got Halo and... what did I get with it? I think I got Halo, Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, and Splinter Cell, and Morrowind. And even playing it on the Xbox, as clunky and terrible as that was, it was still amazing. Like, I'd never played a game like this. You could just go around and do whatever you want. Unless what you wanted to do was wear boots or a closed-faced helmet, because if you're playing as Khajiit, and maybe Argonian, the only good races, you can't wear the boots in this game because you have digitigrade feet, and the game is fucking racist. Regardless. Enough talking about persecution. I thought it was great. The Xbox version, like, it literally had a bug where if you saved too much, like, it would corrupt your game because the save blocks got too big or something. But anyway, eventually I built a computer that could run the PC version, and I got the PC version and played it. And then I downloaded the mod where when the ladies didn't have clothes on, you could see their asses. And you could see their tits too, but who cares about tits? And then I got the expansions for it because why wouldn't you? I've never really played through... well, first of all, I've never completed Morrowind. I've gotten pretty far in the main quest, but you get sidetracked very easy. Also, you can make your character overpowered very quickly in that game, which I like. I enjoy that the game doesn't restrict you. If you know what you're fucking doing, you can become a demigod in like an hour of playing it. Then this... all that does is sometimes when you sleep at the beginning of the game, the Dark Brotherhood attacks you. You kill them, and then you get their armor. And then this expansion lets you become a werewolf. But if you're already a cat man, why do you want to be a werewolf? That doesn't even fucking make sense. I remember getting excited for this. I used to actually get excited for video games, so you can see why I'm not anymore because of games like Oblivion. But I bought this like the day it came out, and then it turns out my PC, which was the one I had built that could run those just fine, couldn't run... well, it could run this if I turned all the settings to low, minimized the view distance so it looked worse than Turok 64, and looked at the ground, then I could play the game. So, needless to say, it wasn't until I got a better graphics card, probably like a, I don't know, a GeForce 4 or something, I don't even remember, that I could actually play this game. And it's a good game. They changed the Khajiit so that they could wear boots. I don't remember if they can wear closed-faced helmets or not, though. The persecution never ends. Also, the webcomic series prequel is set in this game, and it never updates anymore. So, we'll never see what happened to Casey Monaghan. Why am I doing this again? You know those are going to fall over. So many goodies left, and also that. Okay. The Warcraft 3. I got this mainly to play tower defense with my friends because I really like the tower defense games. And I tried playing Dota, but I couldn't get into it. I just don't have the damn reflexes for it. So I can't beat Super Pro. Sorry, no Super Pro Dota gameplay on the 10Fay channel. Let's get this out of the way. This is the original version of Final Fantasy XI I bought. It was the first one that came out in North America. It came with the Rise of the Zilliard. I have so many fond memories and so many more bad memories of this game. God damn. It's just part of your life. You can't ever get that time back. So, I don't know what's left to say about Final Fantasy XI on the 10Fay channel. I have talked about it to fucking death. Whoop. Whoop. I got this from Levi. The game is in there. You can hear it rattling around, but it's missing the cardboard insert, so the game is just loose, and the manual. So it's not complete in box. That's a good game, by the way. Also got this box from Levi that has another Super Game Boy in it. I don't know what kind of store or rental place or whatever it was in, but it's got these weird things stuck on the back that I don't know how to remove without destroying it. Also, it's missing the manual. So, once again, not complete in books. The collector's value is minimal at best. No, don't fall over. I have to precariously stack you. There we go. Just turn things slightly sideways, kids. It's the smart thing to do. This damn game. This was like Final Fantasy XI, but when I was a kid. Because I loved Ninja Turtles. And I got this for either my birthday or Christmas. Probably my birthday. And, I mean, I played it and played it and played it. I was like 5 years old just fucking playing this game and wondering why I was so bad at it. And only learned later that it was not I that was bad. It was the game itself. I didn't need to get good. The game should have. So, yeah. Okay, just sit right there. I can't not stack them. There's only two things left. Kirby Superstar. This is an amazing game. And there is a basically complete playthrough of it on the 10Fay channel with me and Tommy. I think the only thing we didn't do was the arena. Like, we beat all the way up through Milky Way Wishes. The game is in here. This also came from that rental store I used to work at, the box. I bought the game itself at a Babbage's. Remember them? I don't have the manual, but I've got the box. So, and then right here, Final Fantasy III, aka 6, the best Final Fantasy. This box also came from that rental store. You can see where I peeled some of the stickers off. It's a weird choice for the box. Like, the ad campaigns featured Mog here as, like, there used to be this thing, Looney Tunes did parodies of it, where there were like talent guys for TV or something, and people would come in and show them their acts, and they would like drop them through a trap door and be like, next. And in the commercial, it's Mog interviewing the bosses from the game, and surprisingly enough, it's like this weird claymation style. They're actual bosses from the game, like the Mag Rotor and the ghost, the Chatternook or whatever that the Starlit painting turns into. And Mog is just incinerating them with lightning.
Okay, kid, show me what you got. Yeah, right. Next. Yes. Next. Ooh, scary. Next. 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 Next.
Final Fantasy III. Do you have what it takes? Final Fantasy III from Squaresoft.
Next.
Why would you... The only thing you show from the game is this one screenshot of Locke standing in Vector. I assume this is the part of the game before the Imperial Banquet where you're trying to talk to as many soldiers as possible. It's just strange. Also, this is objectively the best Final Fantasy. Like, I don't... Anyone who would say this isn't the best Final Fantasy just has to sit down and watch the opening intro where the Magitech walkers are walking through the snow and it plays the very dramatic version of Terra's theme. And if you're like me, you tear up because it's the best fucking game. That's not the best game ever, but it ain't a bad game. It could be my... I've changed my opinion on it so quick. I'm like, it's alright. I tend to not vomit while I'm playing it, for the most part. But that's, wow, we got through that tote in record time, son. My asshole only slightly hurts from sitting on the edge of the seat. So, yeah. Yeah! I'm going to slightly arrange these and take a picture for the screenshot and then put them on shelves.